Hey everyone, welcome to our newest episode on Maddox Show and Tell series, where we dive deep into the actual content that CS teams are using with their customers. This is not just best practices, this is not just like make sure you include ROI, but we're going to actually see slides and content that is being used. Today, we are very lucky to have the Megan Glick, who is the Senior Enterprise Customer Success Manager at 6sense. And today she's going to walk us through their predictive business review. Hi, Megan. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey Bex, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, well, you've been doing CS for quite a bit. Do you mind sharing a little bit about what your experience has been?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in CS about 11 years at this point. Gone from, small tech startup to where I'm at today at 6sense. So kind of hit on all the journeys that a customer success manager can have. But as you said, I currently am at 6sense as their enterprise CS. So I work closely with our enterprise size clients on adoption, making sure we're hitting all their growth, their strategic company growth, and hopefully aligning their revenue teams. I know depending on the industry, there's some fighting between sales and marketing, but really our end goal is streamlining that for the overall success of our organizations.
I was also thinking like marketing is one of your biggest customers, and I feel like they're also some of the most skeptical people. Speaking as a marketer, we are some of the most skeptical people. So I'm really excited to see this business review. Before we dive in, just a couple questions, right? Like, what kind of content have you seen be the most successful in moving the needle? And why do you think that kind of content has been successful?
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to say it's my business reviews. It is a fantastic touch point with my leadership. Again, my contract signers. I need to make sure that they are feeling the value of our platform so we can continue to build on that relationship and hopefully, renew them. So for me, I maybe get 4 meetings a year with some of my exact leaders. So it's absolutely crucial that I am presenting data that is important to them, their organization, and then being able to point out areas of improvement without, calling anybody out. But obviously, we want to continue to grow and get better. And definitely as our market shifts, you have to kind of ebbs and flows with that. So for me, the business reviews are very crucial. And then again, tying those back to our company's strategic goals and making sure that throughout that year at, one of those 4 calls, I'm showing increased value quarter over quarter and tying that back to, are we going to hit your company goals? Is everyone going to get their commissions and bonuses? So just making sure that it's very personalized back to them. But that for me is probably my most important meeting, I would say, just because get such few FaceTimes with them. And it is an area that I absolutely do use Maddox for. Saves me a bunch of time. I'm actually able to do my entire book of business quarterly,
Mhm.
whereas before I was having to kind of pick and choose which clients got it this quarter versus next.
I love that. I especially like that you highlighted the fact that you're impacting it back to their company goals. And in some ways, because you're doing that, it's probably why they keep coming back versus it feeling like a sales pitch of
Yep.
keep us.
Yeah.
Um, this is one of my favorite questions, but what part of the customer journey do you think needs to get a bit more love, just in general?
Yeah. For us at 6sense and a lot of other companies that I worked at, it's really that growth. So we
Mhm.
have a fantastic implementation team that really caters. So they come out excited, and they want to, kind of get their feet wet. And then I see a lot of my clients kind of stall, like they're seeing success. So there's not that initiative to want to continue to grow our use cases or grow functionality because they're like, we're seeing this 2 to 10x results. They're happy with it. But I'm like, if we can grow a little bit further in this way, like the impact's going to be so much more. So it's really kind of again, catering back to what's important to that organization, to the, contract holders, what did they buy our platform for? And then guiding them and continuing to push their boundaries of, I know you're happy currently, but there is so much more we can do to help elevate you to those goals.
It's so funny. I think most of the time we're all worried about the fires, the ones that are not happy, but you make a really good point, which is like, hey, even the ones that are happy could be much more happier.
Mhm.
Last question. What are the big no's when it comes to customer content?
I feel like I'm beating a little bit of a dead horse for you back, so I apologize, but I think it has to be strategic to that organization, especially at, a larger company size.
Mm,
We know in the market, everyone has at least 10 plus competitors, so it really is important that we are geared into that customer, what their goals are, and making all of those conversations very relevant or strategic for that partner. No one wants to get on a call when you realize like that should have been an email. So I really want to make sure that anything that I am taking my clients' time for or presenting, there is a strong value back to them, not just kind of generic best practices or generic benchmarks. Like that's great for my like day-to-day points of contact, but when I'm really trying to elevate a customer or get buy-in into a motion that I think would benefit them, that contact hat or content has to be very, very impactful for them.
I love that. And I don't think you're beating a dead horse. I don't think that can be said enough. I'm now going to shut up and I'm going to turn it over to you. So now we can actually see that business review you absolutely love.
Perfect. Let's jump in. Okay. Perfect. So I will warn you, our business reviews, depending on the package the customer has, is about 14 to 16 slides. I picked out my personal three favorite that I really feel always have either like a wow moment or generate like really strong next steps or, stronger conversations of where we can continue to grow together. So I didn't want to, take your whole time doing a true business review, but kind of, I think, our most impactful slides. Perfect. So, little highlight of 6sense so you understand what we're showing you here. 6sense is a revenue AI platform. So, we partner with our marketing and sales teams, and we predict accounts that are in market for your organization, where they are in the market to help provide best talking points for marketing and sales. So, you're meeting the customer where they are at with conversations that actually are important to them. So through that, one of our big um, features here is our predictive model. So understanding where they're at in the buying funnel, and then how is that relating back to ROI? So opening opportunities, closing revenue. And so for here, one of my clients has multiple models. So these are a screenshot of their model behaviors on two of their models. And so what this is saying is that we see with accounts that 6sense has highlighted to be in a sales ready stage purchase here, for an example, we're 40, almost 44x more likely to open an opportunity in the next 3 months than any other account in CRM. So again, it's just that proof of where that time to value is spent. If if a sales rep attacks all the accounts that they see in their book of business that are labeled um, purchase, the likelihood of them, opening ton of opportunities is 44x what it would be anything else. So I am sure anyone who sells or trains sales knows that they are one, don't love change. So you kind of have one or two chances before they're like, not for me. So when I can kind of show them, if you follow this, the results and the value is there. so impactful. It does give me that trust, and then we can kind of build upon best practices for actual outreach.
It's so awesome that your actual metrics are like deep into the funnel. It's not just like, hey, from zero to end state, we
Yeah.
help with conversion. You're actually dialing in deeper. What are customer reactions when they see you're able to do that?
I think well, customer reactions is great. Everyone's data driven at this point. It's kind of, the assumptions have kind of left, and now it's like everyone wants to make decisions based off of clear and defined data points.
Mhm.
So I think this is really, really helpful. I think it empowers our leaders to go back and push harder on the sales reps that are saying not helpful. You know, your pushback that you normally hear. So it empowers them. Two, I mean, our this client here absolutely is crushing it. And we do see that in their opened opportunities and closed pipelines. But I think the bigger impact here is again just aligning the entire revenue team. It is so important for our marketing team at those beginning funnel stages to be sending the right messagings, to making sure that we're warming them up, sending content that resonates with what their persona is. So like for 6sense, we have three major buying committee verticals, so marketing, sales, and operations. Those three people have very different pain points and very different wants. So by us being able to tell where they're at and then helping our clients send out separate messagings to their different personas, it really then pushes them down that buying funnel faster and creating stronger sales ready accounts. So it's a win. And I think that builds one, the trust of the sales team back to marketing. We've all kind of worked at a company where like, oh, MQLs, hit or miss. But when they're all aligned on this and we're able to show true data points back that, marketing's crushing it at top of funnel and sales is now reaping the rewards of that, and then through again additional data points allowing them to yield the best results but saving their time.
Mhm. And another thing I just wanted to call out that you said is I think when we think about business reviews, it's about, hey, the people who are using it and the end users or champions, we need to remind them. But you said it's about also enabling them to sell it into the other stakeholders. So in case you missed it, that's a really good point Megan made.
Love it. Awesome. But yeah, so this one is usually just, in this case, it's a huge kudos. Like what's going on is working. But if it's not such of a helpful, or not helpful, but if it's not such a high score like this client has, again, it's still productive conversations of why isn't it where we want it to be? On average, we expect all of our companies to at least have 2x what they had before us. But as you can see here, we do obviously have much, much higher than 2x. So um, either way, negative or positive, it gives us a really strong moving forward of where we need to go next. And next slide. Um, so this is looking at our 6QAs. So 6QA for us means 6sense qualified account. 6sense is very account-based marketing. That is our niche. So when we're talking in that buying stages, the bottom two is when an account would be flagged as a 6QA. That automatically goes to our sales reps to work immediately. So, what 6sense prides ourselves on is helping our clients get to the table first. 70% of all accounts typically will buy the first vendor they speak with. So, through our 6QAs, our integrations into our clients' CRMs and maps, we're able to initiate that alert immediately when one of these accounts are 6QA or sales ready. Obviously not a silver bullet. Still have to, sell it like your typical sales cycle. But what we're seeing is we are guiding our clients to be the first on the table, being able to kind of lead that conversation, lead that investigation. So this slide to me is very impactful because marketing can be doing everything perfect, but if we're not following up on those leads, what was the point of spending all that marketing dollars? We need to make sure that there is that follow through to actually pull back in that revenue. So from here, we can see buying stage increases. And again, that's kind of going back to our marketing teams. How well are we pushing this product line's target market down funnel to be sales ready? Next, we're looking at the percentage of 6QAs that were worked. 85 is our goal, or is what we would ideally like to see all of our customers at. So this customer is not far, and it honestly is better than a lot of my others. So that's usually a point that I have to continue to press with my clients, is that it is so important to work every single 6QA, or at least for this client, they should be touching every single account in purchase because there is that 44x. No purchase account should go untouched. And then we can see time to first activity. Very important. Again, going back to that, you need to be the first to the plate. So that is a new initiative that their sales leaders are going to monitor that came out of this business review. To them, 9 days is absolutely unacceptable. So they have now added into their internal SLAs that every 6sense 6Q8 account has a 48-hour touch point. So I am very excited to come back on our next QBR and see how that's yielded. And then we can see those SQ or 6QAs to opportunity rates. So again, bare minimum, we do see 2x with all of our clients. But we do obviously, if the buy-in is there, the opportunity rates usually are absolutely phenomenal. So again, clients happy with what we're seeing. They've only been with us for 2 quarters at this point, and we've seen tremendous quarter-over-quarter growth. And so this is something that we'll continue to monitor. But again, it's just showing leadership. Before you had us, this was your opportunity rate. Now, here it is. And then we'll continue to grow upon that. But yeah, I think for most organizations, 3 major sales KPIs they're wanting to see is increased opportunity rates, shorter deal cycles, and then higher increased deal sizes. So really with the execution of a 6QA, all of those things should happen. If we're, hitting them within 48 hours, if we are hitting them with messaging that aligns to their pain points, which we can tell through the intent that we track. So we know exactly what their pain points are. We know, who has been visiting the site. It just leads to a much stronger and personalized conversation, which cuts out a lot of those first couple sales calls. So because of that, we are seeing those sales cycles shorten. Deal sizes increase because our reps are going in with more confidence, knowing, all right, I know that they have this issue.
Mhm.
And so instead of kind of trying to do a soft query, it's a more friend, not friend, but like colleague to colleague. Like, I know you have this issue. Here's how we can help you, XYZ. So that's why this is one of my favorite slides, again, because each of these data points could yield us to an area that we can improve upon.
I think something that stands out to me is usually at this point of a business review, you're seeing like, here's our adoption metrics, here's how many users are in your product every week.
Mhm.
And as a marketer who's like one of the personas you're going after, just hearing you talk through this slide, one, I was getting excited. I was like, wait, these are the parts of the funnels. These are the things that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like I'm not dealing with like how much of my team is using a product. I'm like,
Mhm.
what's the opportunity rate? And also it was very consultative, especially when you were citing benchmark data like, hey, this is where they should be, this is what that might need to happen. I imagine like you're probably spending so much time on this slide when you're talking to customers.
Yes, I have started expanding all of my BVRs to about an hour and a half just because it is so detail oriented and yields to such strong conversations that it is a lot of time. I'm always shocked when my exec team approves it, but we usually always use it too. I'm a chatty Cathy too, so that doesn't help. But yes, I think the time is warranted when that value back is there.
I feel like that's unheard of. Everyone's like, how do I get my execs to a business review? Not like I need to extend the time my business
Yes,
review with
yes.
them.
Okay, perfect. Last slide I wanted to highlight here. So this is our buying stage analysis. And again, props to our Mattis integration. I don't have to do all this calculation anymore. You guys just provide it when I click it. So huge time saving. But for me, for my marketing team, this is my most important slide. Um, so again, going back to our buying journey and our funnel. So this first chart, buying stage increase. So again, this is for our marketers wanting to know how are we increasing interest and driving their ICP down funnel. So on average, you can see here in all stages, overall, what was their increase per model. And that's where we used to leave it. But in 2025, we actually broke it out further into this where we can see what is the percentage per buying stage. And that became so much more impactful. So now I can easily prescribe areas that need improvement, we're falling short on. And because I know where in the buying cycle, either the progress down is declining, or in that second graph, if, the interest is going away and they're going, the opposite way that we want, that allows me as their strategic partner to start offering use cases. What do we need to do to plug that hole or to push harder? Is it our messaging? So this usually gets into a pretty big conversation as well. And it usually starts talking like multiple quarters of what we're going to do. Because as a marketer yourself, nothing is just like turned around the next day. But from here, we now said, okay, where are you guys missing? What does that yield back to? Is it sales or is it marketing? Who needs to own the project? And then what is the goal that we want to see there? So I love this one because it really does. Where's the hole and where can we improve upon? Because if I just tell you, oh, overall, you improved, you pushed 18% of your ICP down funnel. Great. I don't know, like we hit a benchmark, like check, like that's not helpful for a client. But what I can tell them is like, hey, your awareness in all three of your models is underperforming where we would like to see you. That tells me brand awareness. We need to go out and make sure that we, on any of your active awareness campaigns, brand unaware campaigns, something there we need to look at. And so it's just a more prescriptive advice that I can give the client at this point.
I mean, even the problem framing is about what they would care about. It's not even product specific. It's like, hey, this is an issue that you need to solve with your marketing strategy.
Mhm.
So awesome to see.
Yep. And then and the one below the buying stage decrease. So again, this would be them going back up funnel. So losing that intent. Um, and really where the biggest highlights for me tend to be and the decrease is on our decision purchase. So our sales ready. And we can see here the purchase stage, we're seeing a higher decrease in the purchase stage than what our benchmark is. And so again, that goes back to their time to execution, so that those 9 business days. So like things like that, we can start breaking down. Their leadership agreed that we want to be capturing and keeping our accounts in our buying stages longer. And to do that, there's some changes that have been made, but that is really all I had deck-wise for you guys today. Again, there's about 14 slides, but these I think kind of yield the strongest value or kind of next steps we need to take as a partner together.
Yeah, no, this has been so cool to see. I mean, it's something that we keep hearing, right? When it comes to your business reviews, you need to be adding value to your customer. And I think this is probably one of the most consultative texts I've ever seen. So thank you so much, Megan, for taking the time and sharing and walking through your content with us. But yeah, that's the end of our episode today. Thanks again, Megan, and make sure you stay tuned and follow our LinkedIn page so you can see upcoming new episodes. Bye,
Thanks so
everyone.
much. Bye.